But I was looking for polite, I wanted away because there's also another thing called a lodging, but in a guest house.
Guest house. Yep.
It's a guest house. And of course, first social media was watched with, he was abducted. See, there's so much falseness in the air. Later, it was discovered that the man stopped somewhere at a pharmacy, bought a certain drug. This is information, then went and arrested. Now, later, after the burial, police came out and they said that identified the lady. Now, the lady was arrested, and we wait to see. The police said they have looked at the DPP, whatever, if there is a case. So we are waiting to see. Now, also, the other story that made my week was the teachers of arts and humanities calling off their strike. And of course, being promised something big come September. And the other news also was the HIV preventative injection. That has excited a number of people, however, some.
I wonder how much it will cost, though. I don't know if it will cost an arm and a leg, or it will be as available as ARVs are.
One, the test, I must say, the excitement is going to be cooled slowly by slowly. Many who are excited, if it is to pay for, definitely won't afford it. Now, but also, the PFF and the ANT are signing a memorandum of understanding on the political scene, whether that has any significance or it is one of the stunts we've seen as we approach national elections. We are yet to see. But also, on another note, something that has covered social media so much. We had the Kawempe North Member of Parliament, the late Honorable Mohammed Segirinya. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Now, after his death, there was scramble for property. And many women brought children. Now, the sad thing is that out of the 9 children,
only 4 were his biological children.
Only 4 were his biological children. This DNA talk had ended in Uganda, but I think it's coming back, and I've had a number of men say, no, you people, it is time we find out. However, I personally, if someone sought my opinion, I don't want to die. I can't take children for DNA. I trust the person that gave me the children 100%. But humanity and human beings are human beings. What if there is a what if? I hope she's driving to work. What if there is a
just in case she's watching, you're in for it. But anyways.
No, it is just, I'm just on TV, please take no offense. But the fact is, you can die for nothing. I'm told decades before, men raised children that weren't theirs. Men raised children that weren't theirs. And he would maybe put in the will, or he would leave things be. No wonder many African men bear children out of marriage or commitment. Now, taking a child, just imagine if this late was alive, and you have 9 children you assume are yours, you're caring for them, and you only return that you have 4 are yours. So for us who have only 2, if you take the 2, and the results come back that none of the 2 is yours, I mean, how do you leave that one? I wonder if his
favorite, I hope his favorite at least
Nagirinya is. I've not really got sufficient information about that, if Nagirinya passed the test or failed the test.
Anyways, on that note, let's have a look at what is on the local scene.
Well, beginning with the Ministry of Education and Sports has begun implementing the TVET reforms following Parliament's approval of the TVET bill and the President's assent, making it law. Now, upon joining the ministry in 2016, Janet Museveni formed an existing BTVET strategic plan under which 5 centers of excellency were established and 10 TVET institutions built. However, institutional reforms, especially in curricular and regulation, remained a gap. She noted that the 2019 TVET policy approved by Cabinet now provides direction and anchors the TVET Act, under which the new boards and councils have been created. Janet Museveni urged newly formed boards born from merging UMINEB and HUWEB into Uganda Health Professionals Assessment and UBTEP with DIT to validate staff and fully constitute their secretariats. The TVET Council, chaired by former UNRA Executive Director Allen Kajina, was given 7 members but awaits appointment of its Executive Director. State Minister for Higher Education John Chrysostom Muyingo said the reforms were long overdue. Appointments were approved by Cabinet. Dr. Alfred Uruware, Chairperson, Uganda Health Professions Assessment. It was an exciting moment at the National Resistance Movement NRM Electoral Commission offices as supporters escorted their favorite candidates to be nominated for the party's topmost position, the Central Executive Committee. The Minister for Microfinance, Haruna Kasoro, is one of such aspiring candidates for the National Vice Chairperson for Central Region. Kasoro, who wants to unseat Godfrey Chiwanda, was seconded by 2 former vice presidents, Professor Gilbert Bukenya and Edward Kiwanuka Sekandi. The first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, is another SEC member who wants to retain her position as second National Vice Chairperson, female. Former woman member of Parliament, Rumo District in Acholi Sub-County, Sarah Lanyero Ocheng, is a fresh entrant in the Central Executive Committee position as the Women's League Chairperson. The Minister for Security, Jim Muhwezi, was also nominated to compete in the NRM SEC race in the position for the Chairman for Veterans League and pledged to address the plight of veterans like delayed benefits payments. The youthful MP for Buyamba constituency from Rakai District, Semwanga Javira, was nominated for SEC position of Chairperson Entrepreneurs League. The storm began when it merged the 200 acres, part of the 500 acres industrial park in Lira, were quietly handed to a single investor, Zuhur and Mahakala, raising questions about transparency, local investors' inclusion, and legality. On May 2028, on May 20th, 2025, Minister Evelyn Anite wrote to Lila District Chairperson RCM Okelo Okwi requesting the allocation of 200 acres of land to Zoek and Mahakala Group for the development of cassava-based chemical industrial park and drone manufacturing facility. In response to the backlash, Okwiri blamed Minister Anite and Otuke County Member of Parliament Paul Omara for allegedly misleading him and pressuring him to allocate the land before it's officially transferred to the Uganda Investment Authority, an action that has now placed him under scrutiny. Otuke County Member of Parliament Paul Omara, however, denied involvement. In a July 1st letter, the Uganda Investment Authority Director General Omar distanced himself and requested for an investigation into the matter, citing the missing land title. An emergency meeting convened yesterday by the Uganda National Chamber of Commerce, Lango Chapter, local leaders of Lira District and Lira City also resolved that this submissive be halted until the title is formally transferred to the Uganda Investment Authority, and that the Prime Minister should convene a full stakeholders engagement, including domestic investors, before any investment agreements are signed. Now, finally, from the local scene, Uganda Network of Young People Living with HIV/AIDS, in partnership with the Mbale-based Network for Young People Living with HIV/AIDS, have embarked on intensifying the campaign Spread Information Sharing on the Virus in a bid to combat HIV/AIDS by 2030. During a summit intended to address the issues affecting people living with HIV/AIDS held in Mbale City, Peter Mweru, the chairperson of Mbale Network of Young People Living with HIV/AIDS, and the other AIDS activists attributed the skyrocketing HIV/AIDS spread in Mbale and the Elgon to limitation of information regarding HIV/AIDS, more so among the youth. According to Peter Mweru, the chairperson of Umbale Network of Young People Living with HIV/AIDS, information sharing and limited access to HIV/AIDS services is a big contributor to increasing of HIV among the youth in Mbale and Elgon region at large. Speaking to UBC in an interview, Mweru highlighted and disclosed that the network has embarked on rolling out campaigns to move in schools and different communities, spreading information regarding the spread of HIV/AIDS. Robert Wandowasi, the HIV focal person, expressed fear that the number of young people that are with knowledgeable information on HIV preventive measures are still low, yet they are the majority in the country's population. Wandowasi also expressed concern over a big percentage of people in Mbale district that have not tested for HIV/AIDS for the last 1 year, which according to him is a serious issue as Uganda pursues its objective to have the virus eliminated out of the country by 2030. Judy.
Thank you, Robert, for that update.
When did you last find out your HIV status?
Last year.
Last year?
Yes.
Okay. Fellow Ugandans, everyone watching us, when are you aware of your HIV status?
Right.
When did you last test?
Very important indeed. You might as well run as fast as possible when the show ends and go have yourself tested so that you know your status and be a better Ugandan with your health. But let's have a look at what is on the foreign scene. And starting with the sad news of the death of Liverpool and Portugal forward Jota Diogo E, who died in a car crash, aged 28, and has left the football world in shock. Jota and his brother Andre Silva both died after the Lamborghini they were traveling in crashed in the Spanish province of Zamora. BBC Sport has been told that the 28-year-old Jota was on his way back to Liverpool for pre-season training, making the trip by car and ferry because he had undergone minor surgery, so doctors advised him against flying. Jota married his long-term partner, Ruth Cardoso, with whom he had 3 children, just 11 days before the fatal crash. Liverpool said Jota's death is a tragedy that transcends the club, while fans gathered outside Anfield to lay tributes. Reds manager Ancelotti said Jota was the essence of what a Liverpool player should be. BBC Sport understands that a wake for Jota and his brother will take place on Friday afternoon before their funeral on Saturday in Porto, Portugal. Now, moving on to the United States, the U.S. Congress has passed Donald Trump's sprawling tax and spending bill in a significant and hard-fought victory for the president and his domestic agenda. After a grueling session on Capitol Hill, the House of Representatives passed the bill by a vote of 218 to 214 on Thursday afternoon. It was approved in the Senate of Tuesday by 1 vote. Trump had given the Republican-controlled Congress a deadline of 4th July to send him a final version of the bill to sign it into law. The Congressional Budget Office estimates the bill could add $3.3 trillion to federal deficits over the next 10 years and leave millions without health coverage, a forecast that White House disputes. Speaking to reporters on Thursday evening, Trump said the bill would turn his country into a rocket ship. This is going to be a great bill for the country, he said. He's expected to sign it into law at a ceremony on the 4th of July, national holiday, at 1700 EDT. A triumphant Republican Speaker Mike Johnson emerged from the House after the vote and told reporters belief was key to rallying support within his party. Now, coming to the continent, Tanzania's Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has announced that he will not seek re-election in the forthcoming parliamentary elections, effectively preventing him from being reappointed. Majaliwa had earlier said that he would defend his legislative seat for a 4th time in October before making the surprise announcement on Wednesday. The 64-year-old was appointed Prime Minister in 2015 and was seen as a possible successor of the late President John Magufuli after his death in 2021. He has continued to hold the position under President Samia Suluhu Hassan, who is seeking to retain the presidency under the ruling Chama Pinduzi. Majaliwa, who has represented the coastal Ruangwa region since 2010, said his decision was guided by God and he made it in good faith. It's time to give others the opportunity to unite and build on the development foundation we've established, said Majaliwa, without elaborating on his reasons to pull out from the elections. It comes just a week after Majaliwa said that he would seek another term in parliament.
Is that man African?
He is African.
He still looks.
And he is a believer in God.
There are things we don't do as Africans.
Well, it's always good to change the narrative.
How do you simply say?
I'm proud of Majaliwa. I'm so proud of Majaliwa. But let's have a look at what is on the local scene.
Well, on the local scene, a very scary headline. And this verifies why you should do the experts. Just look at that headline. Infertility up in Ugandan men. Experts warn against sauna and fast foods. Now, below that, we have over 300 peak forms for NRM SEC position. And among those that picked forms, I see Rebecca Kadaga, second national vice chairperson, female. Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, vice chairperson, Western. Then Daniel Fred Kidega, vice chairperson, Northern. Mariam Naigaga, Eastern Region. We have Calvin Echudu, vice chairperson, Eastern. Now, here we have Michael Mawanda, vice chairperson, Western. And also we have Chris Baryomunsi, vice chairperson, Western. This is going to be
I know.
And also there is one, I don't know if he pulled out. He had expressed interest, just his Hoima City NRM chairperson, Engineer Janad Asimu, but I've not seen him. Maybe he pulled out or he's still in the race. I need to know better. Now also we have Godfrey Chiwanda, vice chairperson, Central. Now another is Central because you have the incumbent Godfrey Chiwanda, but we have Haruna Kasolo Cheyune for the same seat, vice chairperson, Central.
Right.
Now, Chiwanda has been in this seat, and now here comes Haruna Kasolo. I saw him, a person who was seconded by two former vice presidents. But of course, it is upon the members of the NRM. Now,
and indeed, the race is very interesting and quite
now you
tight.
I see Salimu Uhuru, vice chairperson, Kampala. Yeah, there's also that position. Then we have Shadrach Nzeire Kaguta, vice chairperson, Western.
The competition is tight. Let's have
Western.
a look.
Well, Julie,
yes,
sorry I was taken up by this.
Yes.
But it's very interesting. This Western thing is not going to be a walk in the park where you have the incumbent, then there comes in Mike Mawanda, and then you also have, it is really going to be tough. But still also we have Makele private list inside for you and FDC parties to sponsor its candidates. But also on a sad note, student dies after visit by girlfriend. What is it?
Sad
Student
story,
dies.
wondering story.
And another interesting one I saw, Nema boss evicts neighbor over foul smell. Now, this person has been rearing poultry, and it seems the birds have been sending some scent, and Nema decided, please, this is a residential area, either take your farm somewhere else, but you can't have it here because of the smell.
Indeed. Now, looking at what is in the Daily Monitor, it's Daily Nation, revealed Ruto's 1.2 billion shilling church at State House. That is a headline there. Just where was blogger Ndiangui? That's another question in the Daily Nation. And politics opposition storms Raila base in scramble for 2027. And looking at chapati addiction, just how many is too many? Also, Ojwang's killing outrage as youth storm and torch police station. And looking at what we have in the Citizen, CCM election war chest swells by nearly 3.5 billion. And BOT, Bank of Tanzania, cuts lending rate to boost farming and trade. Also in the Citizen, why the mad rush for seats in Parliament. African civil society renews push for debt cancellation. Quickly looking at what we have in the Gazette. The Gazette there has contents in there, but mainly we can look at the Commissioners for Oaths Advocates Act Commission, to all whom these presents may come. Greetings, be it known that on the 23rd day of February 2017, Apio Jamina, and advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be a commissioner of the oaths under the above-mentioned act for so long as she continues to practice as such advocate on the commission, and the commission is not revoked. This is as of 23rd day of February 2017 by Bat M. Katurebe, Chief Justice. Then the Commissioners for Oaths Advocates Act Commission, to all whom these presents may come. Greetings, be it known that on the 6th day of April 2017, Ivan Ngoru, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be a commissioner for oaths under the above-mentioned act for so long as he continues to practice as such advocate, and the commission is not revoked. This is as of 6th day of April 2017 by Bat M. Katurebe, Chief Justice. Then, and recognition of a place of worship. The church is St. John's Chabashenyi, Church of Uganda, Anglican denomination, Village Rutunga Parish, Chabashenyi Ward, Sub-County Nyamnuka Town Council, County Kajara, and the district is in Tungamo as of 19th day of June 2025 by Honorable Norbert Mao, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Now that wraps it up for what we have in the dailies today. Let's have a short break, but just to let you know, today in the show we also have a conversation on how to protect and sustain smart people in the workplace, and this is looking at integrating IQ, EQ, personality traits and character traits. So this is a conversation that you have to be a part of. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you have to save so that you engage in on the conversation. Enjoy some music.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. From UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning. Coming to you live from UBC TV is Good Morning Uganda, and this is the Friday edition. Now, this Friday is a Friday for an African to be proud, as Angelique Kidjo is to be the first Black African to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But on the other flip side of the coin is rather a sad note, especially for football fans. Just last afternoon, Liverpool's Portuguese forward Diogo Jota was announced dead in a car crash alongside his younger brother Andre Jota. And Jota passed away 10 days after wedding his longtime childhood fiancée and girlfriend, with whom he has and had 3 young children. Now, looking at the pictures of his family and his young family, it was rather heartbreaking to see those babies so young, such a tender age, to have lost a father and to know that they will grow up without their dad. But may Jota's soul rest in peace, as well as his brother Andre. But good morning, welcome to the show. My name is Julie Nantabamsisi and I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintomna. Robert, good morning, and what has made your week?
Oh, good morning, Julie, and good morning, our viewer. Thank you very much for waking up with us this Friday. The weekend is here, and of course, I hope you have great plans for the weekend. And of course, plans where they will add on you, not subtract from you,
right,
or lead you to distraction. Now, the week has had quite a lot of stories, and I want to begin with the abduction, alleged abduction and torture of Honorable Barnabas Tinkasimire. Now, this is something I'm closely, and I know a number of Ugandans took keen interest when he surfaced and said he was abducted. He made whatever he said, you know, at such a time when you're nearing politics. Are you aware we once had a politician who planned, I'm not saying Honorable Tinkasimire did, but planned an abduction. Then we are told when the blood that was discovered in his car was that from pigeons and all that. But slowly by slowly it all cooled. Now we wait and see, was it an abduction really? If it wasn't, security such an allegations that even involve a whole CDF.
Right.
You must do something. You must do something. Right. So let's wait for the investigations. We are eager to find out. Then also the arrest of a woman suspected to have had some information in the death of Dr. Chigundu. Many people remember this doctor who was running and owning a very big hospital, who died in a restroom, or call it, okay, in a guest house.
Yeah, a restaurant room sounds rather different.
Yeah, it's something else,
yes,
in a guest house. But I was looking for polite, I wanted away, because there's also another thing called a lodging, but in a guest house.
It's a guest house. Yep.
It's a guest house. And of course, first social media was watched with, he was abducted. See, there's so much falseness in the air. Later, it was discovered that the man stopped somewhere at a pharmacy, bought a certain drug. This is information, then went and arrested. Now, later, after the burial, police came out and they said that identified the lady. Now, the lady was arrested.
Information and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100*21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes, including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, This is Good Morning Uganda.
Joined in just this minute. Welcome to the show. But if you've been with us since the start, thank you for being around. This is Good Morning Uganda on UBC TV. My name is Julie Nantaba Musisi. And on this Friday edition of Good Morning Uganda, we have a conversation for the real, but one that should interest you, especially if you're an employee, but also an employer, which is pretty much most of us. And especially if you're human, you get to work in one way or the other. This is a pertinent conversation for you. And we are looking at how to protect and sustain smart people in workspaces while interlinking attributes like IQ, EQ, personality traits, character traits. Do you even know your personality trait? These are some of the things we are going to talk about. So save the number 0709602592. And to do that with us is Dr. Semalulu Charles Cake, who is a specialist in personality development, a public speaking consultant, and CEO Seek Solutions. Good morning, Dr. Charles.
Good morning, Joe.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Let's start this by defining all of these traits. There's IQ, EQ. IQ is intelligence quotient. Emotional quotient is EQ. There's the personality traits. There's the character traits. How do you define each one of these?
Okay, well, good morning.
Yes.
When you talk about our intelligence quotient, we are referring to the ability of an individual to interpret, to make interpretation in a given environment and make sense out of it. IQ is a little bit wide one, but we could say that it refers to the ability of an individual to make sense out of a given environment in such that they can come up with a specific reaction in order to solve a given problem.
So EQ is added to IQ.
The EQ specifically refers to the emotional relationship an individual has to, it refers to an emotional reaction an individual has towards a given stimulus or towards a given situation. Yes, but they are connected.
Yeah, so from what I understand, if IQ is someone's ability to interpret their environment and make sense out of it, then EQ is their response to what they've made sense out of.
Definitely.
All right.
Thank you.
Makes sense. Let's look at what personality traits are. Now,
personality refers to a combination of so many factors that make up an individual. Like, for instance, when someone gets into a given conversation, when someone gets into a given situation, okay, probably I should come up how I should first of all start with how personalities are formed. Yeah. Maybe like that to make a lot of sense. Yes. Like, for instance, if I'm responding to something, probably maybe I'm hit, maybe because I'm hurt somehow, somewhere, and I keep that reaction for a good period of time. We call it a mood, like for a week or two. Now, when this reaction goes for more than a month or two, it becomes what we call a habit. Now, when this reaction goes for more than a month, actually 2 or 3, it becomes a character. Now, when it goes for more than 6 months or so, it becomes a personality trait. So human beings, we create our own selves. However, I'm not disregarding the fact that genetics also has a role to play.
So does that mean from when you talk about personality traits, what I understood as personality traits are, those things that make you unique, that are standing out of your personality, out of your nature. Yes. They usually have names: sanguine, phlegmatic, choleric, melancholic. I thought these are just part of your build, who you are. It's just how you are built. But they are your primary ones, and then others follow, and then some are built in. But those primary ones are just who you are. Okay. Within a snap of a finger, you're a sanguine. It's just a part of you. Do you make being a sanguine?
Now, there are many ways of looking at it. I want to appreciate the fact that you brought about that.
Yeah.
That was a theory that was brought in by a man called Hippocrates and a gentleman called Plato, because they studied human beings for some time and they would even predetermine their reactions. Then some other way of looking at it, there was also another theory which was developed by a man called Carl Jung. Now, Carl Jung theory, for me, I find it more sensible in terms of that. Now, for him, he came up with what you call the five traits. We call them the oceans: openness, neuroticism, conscientiousness, and all. Now, according to him, an open individual, they are individuals that are very open to experiences. Like, for instance, you put them in a given environment, they will just get used to it. Right. I mean, without knowing, without having any limitations. Now, those are the people who are highly extroverted individuals. Now, for instance, if you could relate that in a place of work, that's an individual who would just come in and fit in, like that person has been there already. Then there are people who are so neurotic, that is according to Carl Jung. Now, these are people who feel a lot. They feel a lot, and they majorly so much move to the negative side of emotions. They feel so much a lot, but they don't show what they felt. So they feel so much, and they keep it inside them. Therefore, they're introverted. Then there are those, according to the theory, there are those who are so much compulsive in their reactions. Now, if you could relate that to what you've just talked about, that is what we would call a choleric that we just talked about. Yeah. That is an individual who is a go-getter. They don't stop. They don't have impossibilities in their lives. Even if you lock them out here, even if you lock them inside here, they will just find a way to get things done. Yes. Now, there are so many factors that account for that. There is a genetic component. However, human beings, we are so much influenced by the kind of environments where we are. Yes, please.
Very interesting. I think we should host you sometime to speak more into personality traits, because that conversation is wide. But let's also define character traits. What are character traits? Now,
character traits, these are specific habits or specific behaviors an individual shows continuously in various environments. These are specific reactions that an individual shows probably for some time in a given environment. They are habits that just come out of us. Yes.
Now, now this is actually really playing my mind right now, because many times they say the personality traits are the things that sort of inform your character traits, but can be improved because we complement each other as human beings. For example, they say sanguines are very impulsive. They just do things immediately. They bapakuka. Yes. And with the training, with the awareness and help of complementing people, they learn to take things slow. So in character trait that comes as obvious is that impulsiveness. They'll just utter anything. They'll just say anything, whether it hurts or it doesn't. Whilst when they groom it, they learn to take their words slow. So does that mean character traits are part of us in a way? They are genetic too, or they are things we learn along the way?
So character is majorly influenced by environment. It's shaped by environment. Yeah, but personality, it has the biggest contribution of genetics. Like, we get it out from from our parents. Like, it's passed over. However, human beings can always be influenced by their environments. We can always be influenced by their environments. So character can change. I'll give an example. The table that we are looking at right here is black, all right? But someone can paint it blue. Someone can paint it red. However, that doesn't change the structure of this table. Now, what you put outside in a given environment is what we call character. Now, who you are naturally is what we call a personality. So the structure of this table, how it was made by the carpenter, is a personality. However, when human beings come into given environments, they put on or they put out what they want people to see, or in reaction to the specific kind of environment. We are chameleons, we camouflage, we act according to the environment, so that we can be in a position to hit our specific goals or demands in that specific environment. So character can change, but personality, it's a very, very, very hard thing to change. Very
interesting. I hope you do not go on the name chameleon, all right? Just because a specialist, as an expert, has talked about it. But now let's get into the workspaces, especially in your experience. What are the common challenges you've found that high IQ individuals face in modern workspaces?
Okay, high IQ, according to the research, it has 6 levels. Now, there are people who are average in terms of IQ. I don't want to talk about it because I may appear like, you know. But you know that 68% of human beings in the entire planet, most of us belong there. 68%, the average. Then there's what we call above average. The above average individuals, these are people who are around 14 to 16% of the entire global population.
8 billion human beings
yes.
on planet
Most
Earth.
of us are at average. That is 68%.
Wow.
Now, the above average is 16%.
I think little wonder scientists say that we only use 3% of our brains.
Yeah, actually.
Yet we are able to use it beyond 3%.
Actually, there is something that I didn't see. By the time a human being is 2 years, we can measure their IQ. And it's predictable. Actually, some societies, back in the days, it was used in the segregative societies like South Africa and all that. By the time a human being is 2 years or 3 years, or primarily they would subject them to a given test. And then they will get to know the number of prisons they will build in the next 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So they will use, because a human being, we repeat our own selves, the habits that we come up with. So in the workspace, the most important part is to understand, first of all, which kind of person have you brought in? Because we always want to change people when they come in, but it's very, very hard to bring in an individual. The success of an organization starts with, at your gate, who do you let in?
Right.
So I've just said that 68% of us are at average level. And then 16% are above average. Then we go to what we call gifted individuals. Now, gifted individuals in the entire world, they're just 5%.
What's the difference between a high IQ and a gifted individual?
Gifted individuals, these are geniuses. Like super, super intelligent people. Now, those are people who can be in laboratories for 6 months studying something. Not so many people can do that.
Yes.
Yes. And then we have what we call the highly gifted people. Those are just 0.2% of the entire population.
And how do highly gifted people function?
Number one, the higher you go in terms of intelligence, the higher the chances of becoming antisocial. Most of the highly gifted people, or what you call the profoundly gifted people, they are very antisocial. Why? Because for them to make sense out of a given situation, it's very fast. Like they look at something, make sense out of it, and they go very fast. Now, because not so many of us can catch up with their pace, they tend to get bored by our presence. So that's why they step aside.
Right.
Not because they don't like us, but because we're slowing them down.
Right.
I'll give an example. Even when it is a class setup, highly intelligent students understand when the teacher has just started speaking. And you know what they do? They start dozing. Now the teacher is in a class, is handling a class of 50 students. And probably there are 2 super gifted individuals, or profoundly gifted individuals.
Right.
So they start dozing, or they start making funny comments. Now, these funny comments are not saying, they are not about that, probably they are not respecting the teacher, but they're like, man, we need your attention, we're bored. However, even those who are low gifted, in terms of average, in terms of their IQ, they can also try to make sense. I mean, they can also try to react in a given way. But their reaction is not like, they are not communicating with the boredom. They are communicating like we're not understanding, but we're also here. In other words, they're also seeking for attention. Now, highly gifted people seek for attention, and those who are technically knocked out of the topic, of the discussion, they also seek for attention.
So is this where this whole disorder comes from, the ADHD, the attention, let me see, attention deficit?
Yes, it comes in. However, human beings always pay attention to what is interesting them. Like, I don't want so much to talk about it because it varies from individual and individuals. But the most interesting part is that when the brain is hooked up to something that is very interesting, they don't get bored.
Interesting.
So coming up and then probably identifying an individual that they have ADHD, it is a little bit confusing. Why? Because someone may not be in a position to pay attention to a specific topic or to a specific kind of narrative that is being talked about. So, however, when they get into something else, they get interested.
So that means this whole narrative of ADHD is sometimes...
It's sometimes very questionable, most especially when it comes to the infants, to the young kids. In the mature people, of course, you can listen. Right. But kids, they are still growing. Yes. Probably what we didn't talk about is that brain development occurs highly between 0 and 7 years. Actually, by the time a kid is 7 years, 95% of their brain is fully developed.
Fully developed.
Now, it's just 5% that grows beyond 7. That's why I was telling you that actually most of this research was known. That's why it was very easy for people in the Catholic Church to bring up catechists, to bring up fathers, because they would just get to know. By the time a kid is 4 years, they will just get to know that this will serve well in the church.
Right.
In other words, they will let them get out.
Now, aside from easily getting bored, what other challenges have you noticed that high IQ people face in the workspace?
Yeah, they always don't want to work with the rules. They love breakers. They love breakers. Why? Because, okay, when someone sets up an organization, they come up with organization culture, the principles, the rules of engagement.
Yeah.
Now, because these people are very rare, when we're coming up with the rules in organizations, we don't always ask people, which kind of environment do you want to work in? I don't know. Actually, in my life experience, I think I've only got to one organization that asks that, please, now, Juliet, we brought you here. Okay, how do you want to operate? Can you try to paint a picture of the kind of environment where you would like to work? Now, an individual just comes in and probably you're talking to HR, and then you give in rules and regulations that you're supposed to follow. Yes, and because these people are highly gifted, they tend to break all the rules. They don't follow them. They don't follow them. And because of that, they have issues with the HR offices and all that. And then someone keeps on complaining because they want them to follow rules. And by the way, they will never follow rules because that's who they are. So
eventually they are termed as unruly, or their character is, they lack humility or integrity, yet it's a thing of their high IQ.
Definitely.
Very interesting. Now, do high IQ employees struggle with EQ in the workspace?
Yeah, the brain is very funny. The brain has 3 levels. There's what you call all brains for mammals have 3 levels. So the first level of the brain is what you call the neocortex, or a frontal lobe. The second level is what you call the emotional brain. Okay, the uppermost part of the brain, which is the neocortex, it's 60% of the human brain. Now, that's where thinking takes place. That's where learning takes place. That's where rationality takes place. That's where decision-making takes place. Now, on the second level, that's the emotional seat of human beings. Fear, love, stress, anxiety, depression, worry, disappointment, everything sits there. In other words, when a human being looks at something, after making sense out of it, the chemicals or the emotions come in. Right. So the point is, they are highly gifted individuals. Most of the highly gifted individuals are very rational. They go by logic. They are taken by understanding. They are taken by what they can really make sense analytically. Now, when it comes to the emotional bit of it, which is the second level of the brain, which is the second level, they don't always so much connecting. That's why if you've worked with highly intelligent people, they say words out without even thinking about how the other person is going to feel, because they don't care. That's not who they are. Now, we can call them braggant, we can term them as arrogant and all that, but that's not how they function. They function by logic. Anything that doesn't make sense to them, they don't go by it. So most of the highly gifted people or the profoundly gifted people, they struggle with, first of all, understanding emotional stuff. Like, for instance, if the boss, actually most of the highly intelligent people, they always go up to the top very fast. Do you know why? Because intelligence means speed. If I'm faster than you, definitely I'm going to get higher.
Promoted, yes.
I'm going to get promoted. So most of them get to high places, top organization charts and all that, and they tend to set rules. And when they try to set up like given parameters or given standards, rules of engagement, most of the emotional bit of it is left out. Maybe when that highly intelligent person is a woman, because naturally women tend to come in, their levels of emotional awareness are very high. So most of the highly gifted people, they struggle with their emotions. That's why most of them end up even not getting married, because they don't understand the drama that's happening at home. Someone tells you this is what they want to do, and they want you to go by it. They can't understand why you're not understanding what they're telling you.
Right.
Therefore, they struggle a lot. Not only in the places of work, but even in terms of other relationships, even at places, even at homes.
Right.
Yes.
So now let's look at how the two interplay at work. How does IQ and EQ in the workplace connect?
Now, like I've just said, not all of us, the brain is divided into 2 hemispheres. There's what's called the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain. Now, the right side of the brain is too much a feminine brain, like takes in color, passion, creativity, beauty. It considers most of the other things. Now, the left side of the brain, that's where logic is. Math, numbers, data, statistics, understanding. But in the middle, there is what we call an X-ray, call it a corpus callosum. Now, there are people who are so much gifted at using the right side of the brain, and there are people who are much gifted at using the left side of the brain. By the time a kid is 10 years, we can measure that and we can get to know. I'm not saying that one side of the brain works and the other doesn't work. No, all of them work. But all of us have a side, or the hemisphere, that works more than the other. Now, it depends. If someone is highly, highly gifted, but they are highly gifted in the left side of the brain, they are going to be so much logicians. They want to rationale, they want to reason, they want to go by rules, they want to have data, they are goal-oriented. If someone is too much highly intelligent in terms of, gifted in using the right side of the brain, they will bring in a lot of understanding. Okay, let's try to understand. Julie uses like this because of this. They will try to understand individuals beyond each and every person. So it depends. So if you have a boss who is leading an organization and they are so much highly gifted at using the right side of the brain, this is the person who so much have a lot of empathy. They so much understand what people are going through. They want to design programs that can support each and every individual, right? Such that they can perform well at places of work. But if someone's really gifted at using the left side of the brain, they don't want to work with mediocres. All of what they want are top performers. They come up with goals and targets. All those that cannot help them achieve the targets, they can't deal with them. They don't understand. They don't know that it's rain. They can't understand that it's rain. They can't understand probably someone is struggling at home. They don't want to listen to that. Because all of what matters to them is achieving the goal. Right. Yes, please.
Is there a place for them to tone it down?
Yes, but it's hard. It's hard. Actually, the moment you try so much to change an individual, that is the #1 cause of stress at places of work. Yes. The moment you try to change them such that they can play by the rules, they get stressed. And most of them choose to go away. Or most of them choose to come up with the private enterprises because they can't work in an organization where, they are being forced to change. However, human beings will have potential to learn. Because like I've said, the brain is made up of neurons. Now, what we call learning in a setup is a neuron and a neuron meet together and they connect. That's what learning is. Now, when a neuron and a neuron disconnect, that's what we call forgetting. Now, by the time a human being is 35 years, it becomes very, very hard for them to unlearn or to learn something new.
Right.
Yes. So if there are any interventions that have to be made, they have to be made when someone is still very young. But you can't really try to change someone who is 40. I'm not saying that they can't, but it's going to be very, very hard.
Very interesting.
Not only for the person who is doing it, but for the person that are also trying to get into that very setup.
Interesting. Let me engage a couple of your comments. And this is Robert Ejotre from Arua, who says, who is an introvert and an extrovert? What personality traits define such people? Okay.
An introvert is an individual who is too much into themselves. Yeah, they are too much into themselves. They feel a lot. They understand things when they interact with themselves. And they make sense for themselves, but they don't always react to society.
That's an introvert.
That's an introvert. They feel a lot. They are so much, they are good at understanding what works for them and what doesn't work for them. And even when they come into spaces or into working spaces, they know where to go and where not to go. In other words, an introvert is an individual who look at a gathering and they feel very uncomfortable. Not because they are bad, but because that's how they relate. The opposite is an extrovert. An extrovert is an individual who just meets here, talk to Judy as if they saw you 10 years ago. They will tell you where they stay, where they come from, why they left, why they support Manchester United, why they are going to vote from 7. They will give you all the reasons. Just like, for them to connect, it's not very hard. Yes.
So is it possible for someone, one individual to have both?
Yes. It so much depends. But naturally, most people who can so much relate to that are women. Yes. Why? Because they give birth to all. They give birth to introverts and extroverts.
So it's easy for a woman to be both.
It's easy for a woman to be both. And two, when someone goes through serious training, and the training that I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the discussions in the class. No, something like military training. Yes, because military training changes a lot. Changes a lot. It's one of the most serious training a human being can be subjected to. So that's why it is very easy to have someone like a spy fit in all given environments, because they can tell them that, okay, now you're going to operate in a bar. They will come and fit in. They will tell you now you're going to operate in a church. They will come and fit in. Yes. So with the serious training, most especially military training, someone can, you know.
0709602592. It's the WhatsApp number that you should engage and ask Dr. Charles Semalulu Kek, who is our guest today. He is a specialist in personal development, a public speaking consultant, and the CEO of Seek Solutions. And we are talking about how to protect and sustain smart people in workplaces. Now, let's look at the issue of burnout, or anyway, disengaging. What are the key risk factors that lead to burnout with competitively gifted people? I know rules is one of them, but what more to that?
Okay, one of them is putting them in an, okay, now this is how it would be. When you understand me, like, okay, I'm Judy and I've started working in a given organization. A highly gifted person needs to be informed or need to be asked under which kind of environment they will have to operate. Such that you design it for them and they co-design as well. Because actually these are rare people. They are resourceful, very, very resourceful, but they're only resourceful to those that have understood them. Yes. So one of the factors that brings about that is placing them in the wrong places. Yes, positioning is key. Positioning is very key. I'll give you an example. You may have a highly or profoundly gifted person who is operating under 5 people. And all the people above them, they're average and above average. Definitely, they're not going to show up.
Right.
They are going to feel so much subjugated. Why? Because what they are trying to change, like for instance, let me give an example. I am the CEO and I'm above average because of so many factors. I choose not to only the only factor that determines success. There are so many other factors. You understand? It might be my company. I might have started a company. And then I hire someone who is highly gifted. Now you try to put them in an environment and probably you come up with the goals, objectives, work plan, and all that. It's very easy for them to see through, right? Sometimes they can start arguing about the kind of strategies that you've come up with, and they end up confronting their bosses because they don't know the limit. Not because they are bad people, but because they don't understand why someone can come up with a strategy that is not going to work, because for them it is very easy to get it seen. And because of that, they get fired, they are given warning letters and all that. And by reaction, when a human being will start getting into some kind of punishments and all that, they start, frowning. They start, such that they can fit in. So they say, okay, now it was because of such a behavior that someone reacted like that. Now they start, okay, they pull out. They pull out not because they want to pull out, but because they know people will not understand what they are trying to say. So one of the biggest causes is placing them in, it's about in a box, and putting them in wrong spaces. Yes, these are people who want to show up and they know. These are people who are smart. They know exactly why you brought them in. So once you get them brought in, put them in the right position. 2, give them the required resources for them to perform. Yes, because they are highly creative. A highly gifted individual can come up with 10 ideas at a go. Now it's about creating a supportive environment still around them. And you're like, okay, Julie is this smart. Okay, can we get people that can understand Julie? Why? Because you're not going to have a Julie. I'll give you an example. Highly profound people, you need like 100 million people to get to highly profound people. They are very rare. Therefore, they should be protected. They should be protected. And the protection I'm talking about is by creation of a supportive environment. The supportive environment also goes to the people that you put them in the departments with. They must be in a position to understand them. They must be in a position to read what they do. Yes.
Interesting. Which personality traits predict whether a smart employee will thrive or clash? Now, this is with personality traits.
Yes.
Yeah. What are those things you spot out as an employer and you can tell easily that this person might clash so that you act quickly, or this person might actually thrive so that you protect them the more?
Oh, yeah. If I'm to go with how you started this, number one, most of the colleagues are highly gifted people. Now, these are individuals who don't know their limits. They don't want to be led. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be behind. And when they are put in an environment where they are behind, because they are very smart, they can even see through their leaders, they can turn out to be malicious. In other words, they can advise you such that you go astray, such that they are given a chance to perform and do it better than you.
Right.
Yeah, they are very sabotaging, most especially when they are not put in spaces where they're supposed to be. So it's very important for us to understand that most of the cholerics, a choleric by personality, I mean by definition, these are people who are highly conscientious, they are highly creative, they are highly industrious, they don't keep quiet. They don't settle down. They are always coming up with ideas. They don't have any impossibilities in their lives. If you want, okay, they always take on challenges. Things that people, most of the people will just love to shun, ignore, not take part in. That's where a choleric wants to come and perform. Because they know once they perform, they want to be praised.
Right.
They want to be seen. So there are people who take so much attention in taking on challenges. 2, they don't respect rules. They're highly creative. It's very, very, very rare to get them like just settled, not doing anything. They are highly punctual. You tell them that we should be at 6:45, they will be at 6. Such that they understand the environment where they're going to operate. Yes.
Very interesting way of functioning. Somebody comes through and says, I think I'm an introvert. What kind of job opportunity can I best fit? Yeah,
most of the introverts, there is so much now it still interplays between the personality and the IQ.
Okay.
Now most of the introverted people, they are the best researchers that we can ever have. I'll give an example. I'm forgetting the name of the scientist who studied rats for 27 years, studying how rats laugh. Now, yes. Now if you just talk about it like this way, you'll be like, you think that this guy is crazy. How can you spend all that time tickling rats such that you know they laugh, but they laugh ultrasonically. Right. They do. Now, these are individuals.
Does that mean that Albert Einstein could have been, his IQ is, I mean, way up there?
Definitely. I think it would be the best example of an introvert. It would be the best example of an introvert. This is an individual, first of all, he's growing up had issues because he was born with a very big head. And the daddy was like, what's this? The dad disappeared. Now, this guy used to go to school each and every day. But because he was too much, his IQ was so high, he was so much living into what you call an imaginative space. You would imagine. Think about imagination is thinking, but in terms of images. Now, actually, highly gifted people have that. They think, but they think in terms of images. They create pictures mentally. Now, this guy, because he was that guy, he was of such a character, he failed to fit into a school system. And he told his mom that I can't be taught here. The mom was like, okay, let me put up a school for you. He taught himself at home. He started studying and taught himself at home. So highly introverted people, they so much operate best in spaces where they don't get to interact with so many people. Any environment that has so many relationships, it's draining for an introvert.
Now, you talked about women having the ability to have both, simply because they have the nature of motherhood. Does it mean that it can apply to women who haven't even given birth yet?
Definitely. A woman is a woman. The ability to give birth to a child doesn't mean that you're not a woman.
Yes.
You naturally, the entire system is feminine. You can't take away from that.
Interesting. Where can I find Dr. Semalulu outside of the UBC studios? He'll definitely tell us towards the end of this particular one how best we can get in touch. I see a couple of you want to get in touch. Isaac as well from Gulu, you say that you want to engage him. But let's look at how assessments, personality assessments can be used ethically to tailor job roles or compose teams.
Okay, it's very, very, very important for all employees to understand that before you bring in an individual, you must understand them. Now, papers don't say a lot. Papers don't say a lot because with actually one of the biggest challenges that highly gifted people have, or all of us have, is the level of education that we go to. Our education, according to potential of a human brain, just because you have a bachelor's doesn't make you, and all that. So it's very, very important for us to have tests such that we understand people. But this works in a highly formalized environment. In our society, people get jobs because my brother started up something, you're someone's brother, you're someone's cousin, and all that. That's how most of us get into workspaces. But if you are to go by formalities, such that you can be in a position to set up a structure that can be beneficial, not only for the employees, but also the employers, such that they can have the best of the results in a given organization, it's very important for us to cut out tests Now we have a lot of resources online, a lot of resources online. Now all these resources may not be in a position to give you 100%, but at least they may give you, they may throw some light.
Yes.
Yes.
And help you.
They may throw some light.
Now,
and before you even put it to the employers, I think it's very important for an individual to get to know who you are before you even start moving around. It's very, very important for you. Actually, one of the biggest causes of stress and mental health issues is people not understanding themselves in terms of personality and their abilities. I'll give you an example. You get an average individual and you put them in an environment that is very, very demanding. Now they are good people. They want to work. But because they don't have a software that can help them operate in that environment, they are going to get stressed and they are going to burn out. So most of the burnouts that we just talked about come from placing people in spaces where they are not, where they don't have enough competencies.
Yes.
Yes.
Very interesting. But let's look at now the practical frameworks, especially for HRs, for organizations. Yes. Are there existing models or frameworks that integrate IQ and EQ personalities, so that at the end of the day, there's an ability to support talent management? Yes.
Now, that goes to, first of all, having a qualified HR individual. That's very key. We've been to organizations where someone's the HR because he's a wife to someone, and they don't even have what you call a policy manual. Because in any formal setup, there should be, there should be parameters that define how do I come in. Do I come in because I have papers? Do I come in because of a personality? Do I come in because of the profile? Do I come in because of my previous performance somewhere? Now, when all that is set, it's going to be very easy for organizations to have good people and to have the right people in spaces. But if you just keep on coming, someone is good, you got them from nowhere, you know, you just, because you think they are good, it's very, very important. So one of the biggest techniques that we can use is, first of all, giving people questions. Now, there's what you call, aptitude tests. Yes, aptitude tests. But these tests, these questions or the questionnaires should be set in relation to the organization goals and objectives. Now, the other problem that you've also got to find out around is that people come in, we bring in people who are good. This someone is good, but they are not in so much. Their character or their traits or what we need from them does not rhyme with what we need as an organization. So it's not only about aligning the HR policies, but it's all about overhauling the entire organization. Where do we want to go? We want to go to Kasese. How do we get to Kasese? We can get to Kasese by car, by taxi, by board, all right? So when you're recruiting, you know who's the taxi, where's the bus, you understand? And after bringing them in, how do we put them in the right positions such that we can get the best results for them? Because like I've said, you can have a Julie and is highly gifted, and then you put them in an environment that's going to probably make them not operate. So it's about aligning organization goals and objectives. After getting them, that is what we should use to develop a policy manual for the HR to follow. And then we should also define, that should also be the right definition of the people that we should come in. Because most of organization success starts at your entrance. Who do you bring in to help you achieve the kind of goals and objectives that you set up for your own organization?
Very interesting. Good morning. Thank you for the program. My question is, how do you handle a child who is highly gifted, yet you are not the mother? I think this is what you meant, yet you are not the mother. The child is 13 years.
Yeah, that's very... But by 12 and 13, the brain is blazing, like serious blazing. Why? Because I've just said, previously we talked about the brain hemispheres. Right. And I've said between 10 and 12, the hemisphere that works best in each and every individual is defined around that age. Now, the most important part is, first of all, to understand that it's a child. You're dealing with a child. So just because they are so much gifted and they are smart and they're clever doesn't mean that they are mature human beings. Sometimes they can even reason you out. But I think it's the responsibility of a parent or a guardian or a caretaker to ensure safety of this child. But one way of looking at it is, first of all, having open conversations. Because highly gifted individuals, they are very outspoken. They are very outspoken. Most especially if it's an introvert. I mean, an extrovert, sorry. Yeah, an extrovert. If someone is highly gifted, and they are an introvert, then that is the hardest person to be brought up. Because they look at you, they read you, they understand what they're going to do, and they can even predict you. But this is a child of 12 years. And because of that, they choose to keep it to themselves. Now, these are kids who get problems, and because they can see when I tell mom, this is what she's going to do, when I tell dad, they can even read around, we don't have money, they choose to keep quiet, most of them. Right. They choose to keep. So it's very important for us to open up conversations. And when you open up conversations, you should be ready. You're talking to a smart human being. Yeah. So don't think that you're just going to get them subjugated because you're a parent, using that title to get them down. No. Let us give them spaces to speak out their mind.
And actually, if you say that, I think many parents have killed smart children with, of course, in the former way of raising. I don't know if it applies to our generation now as parents, but at least in our parents' era or their parents, many parents have had that entitlement of, I'm your parent, what I say goes. You cannot speak as a child, and I think it has brought down, does it anyway bring down the intelligence quotient of a child like that, who's highly gifted, but because of that environment, they choose to keep things to themselves.
Oh, Judy, you're so smart. What you said is what you said is real. Now, I'll give an example.
Right.
Most parents, especially single mothers, they always talk their kids out. Probably maybe the father disappeared or died, or they chose not to be present in their kids' lives. So when a mom is the only person who's supporting, they choose to come out and say, you know, my daughter, your father left me. I'm struggling to get on this tuition by myself. If you keep around and play with the kids that come from rich families, thinking that you're rich, now, the moment you start communicating to a child something like that, their brain starts frowning. It starts frowning. It's like, okay, we call it shrinking. I don't know if you've ever prepared beans, like dry beans, and you soak them in water.
Yes,
once water is inside, they shrink like this. Yes. Now that's the capacity of the brain. Now, in other words, if someone is born with a very high level of IQ, the environment can get it subjugated. The environment can kill it. What you've said that our parents used to so much to have a sense of entitlement, it is still happening. Yeah, we've been in so many schools where a father probably didn't become a lawyer, maybe because of where they are. Now they have the money. Now they want that lawyer to resurrect in their kids. And they are pushing their kids. They are pushing their kids. Come on, for us, by the time we went to school, we didn't even have this. But you have this, you want to become a lawyer. Now, parents, it's a little bit hard for us to understand that you are just given an opportunity to bring this life on planet. But this is not you. This is a different human being. This is a separate life. And your role as a parent is to be supportive, is to design, is to cultivate an environment that will be in a position to help this life blossom and become better than you. Now, because of our sense of entitlement, I'm the father, I'm the mom, I'm the breadwinner, we tend to come and dump all of what we failed to do, and we want to see our kids becoming that. And it's causing a lot of problems. Actually, it so much happens in families or in societies where people have gone to school. These problems are in families where a parent is a doctor, is a lawyer, is what. So they want their kids. I'll give an example. There's a school where I went to. The mom is a doctor, the father is a lawyer. And the kid is in P3. And each one of them is pulling. So we went in, and you would go in on Monday, and then the father picks the kid. You know, I want my kid to become a lawyer, what. On a Wednesday, the mom picks the kid. And everyone is trying to push this life into different directions. Why? Because they want probably fulfill their failed obligations.
That's true.
It's not really hard. I mean, it's not easy. I understand as a parent. It's not easy for us to demarcate boundaries between a parent and a child.
Right.
But that should be the best. If you want to have the best from your child, we should be in a position to understand that this is an independent life. And it's just a gift that God gave you to bring this life on planet. But once this life is on planet, you have to let it live. Staying
with parents and how they can easily shrink the brain of a highly gifted child. Let's come to school. I don't know if this still applies in schools today, but at least the time I did school, there was the issue of classifying students based on their cognitive process in class. there was class A, stream B, and stream A was for the highly gifted students, stream B was for the mediocres, stream C, D, E, whereas for, those who are quite slower than the rest. Do you think it affects how children process life in their cognitive processes, or does it even help? Is it a good solution?
I think I would say yes and no. First of all, rare people, highly gifted people are precious. So if there's any program that has been developed to protect them, I support it. You know why? Because all our problems that we have on our societies, they cannot be solved because 68% of us are average. So if there is any serious brain, any serious individual that has been identified as early as primary, I suggest that they should be protected. Now, unlike our societies, in the Western world, highly gifted people are protected. By the way, they don't even go through the formal education. No. That's why it was very easy for someone like Condoleezza Rice. I don't know if you remember her. She was the former Secretary General of the US. By the time she was 16, she had a bachelor's degree. Yeah, highly gifted people should be protected by all means. But because we live in a society, where we don't have so much infrastructure to protect such people, for school setup, it works, but it also affects the averagely gifted students. The moment someone's branded that you are in stream C because you're not gifted, that's it. That's it. So they are going to act like they are in C.
They'll give up on life.
Yes. You know, human beings, we have what you call one of the most dangerous neurons. Okay, most important neurons that we have is what you call the mirror neurons. Now, if you start telling me that, Julie, you are in this stream because you're not gifted. You're in this stream because of this and this. You're in this stream because of this and this. Your brain is going to be like, oh, I think that's true. Most especially if it comes from a person of authority like a teacher, like a mom.
A mom, yes.
The brain is going to be like, okay, how can we prove that? The brain works best. Actually, the brain works best when it comes to dealing with negativity because it goes there. The brain doesn't know how to process what's right and what's wrong. And 70% of our thought process is negative. So we're so much inclined to the negative. That's why you can have a very good day where everything has gone right. And then you have one negative thing and you feel like, oh my God, what has happened? But you've had like so many positive things that you've experienced within the course of the day. But one negative can take you off. So when you get an individual and you place them in an environment that is marked or that is maybe named or tagged, probably they are incompetent, most especially if a child. For mature human beings, of course, you can understand, you know. Most especially if a child, they are going to act like that. They are going to respond to that. It is how the brain processes. It processes information in that very direction to help this kid feel comfortable. I'll give an example. Even how kids pick their friends. They pick their friends according to their level of IQ. You cannot get a high performer, like a student who gets 80, 60, 90 in class, and their best friend gets 30.
That's true.
No. It's very, very rare. Why? True. Because IQ, these kids are young, but they can get to know that if I'm scoring 70 and 80, the brain feels comfortable being in an environment with someone who performs like that.
Where they relate.
Yeah, but if someone is performing probably score 30, 40 and all that, they also so much cling to an individual who performs like them. We call that self-conditioning. Human beings, we want to condition ourselves such that we can fit into a given environment.
And I think that's more building a community of some
Definitely.
sort. Now, this conversation is coming to the end, but let me engage more of your comments. And Phillips from Karamoja, you say, good morning, Dr. Charles. This is very important information that most heads of institutions, departments, ministers lack. And they always misunderstand individuals with different traits. In fact, if I was a head of state, I would suggest that anyone getting a position to supervise others must undergo basic psychology studies. Well done, you should be supported to institutions and organizations. And you say that the highly gifted learners need more work or assignment to occupy them. They need to be busy to make use of their skills. They tend to be restless. Hi, good morning. Thank you for the show. This is Senyondo from Ruhama. Going direct to the point, I can say that when a child is gifted, also church foundation is needed to help some while convincing the child. What would you say about that?
Church?
Yes, if a child is gifted, they also need a foundation of being brought up in a church foundation or maybe religious foundation to help curb any hazardous traits that could sprout out of their highly gifted nature.
Yes, most especially, of course, church will now be relative in relation to the society where an individual is.
Right.
If I think I don't want to say more than that.
Yes.
Yes, about that. Yes, it's relative.
Right.
Because because church, school, and family, all those are social entities. They are structures that define how a given society operates. So if someone is living in a society where church, mosque, like most of the institutions are valued, I think it's very much important. Why? Because even if someone is very, very highly gifted, they cannot thrive without others. So it's very important for us to start inculcating social behavior and discipline, such that this gifted individual has to know that however much I am so much gifted, I'm supposed to live in a given society. I'm not supposed to live independently. Yes, and church is one of those grounds where that can be done.
Right. Let me see a final question. Good morning. Thank you for the program. It's very educative. Please remind me the different stages of personality development. I didn't get them when Dr. Semalulu mentioned them. Stages 1, a mood, 1 week, a mood, 3 weeks, a habit, 6 months, a character, and a year, a personality. Did he get them right?
Yeah, I think he's...
You are actually paying attention, so you had them right. One final one. Julie, I remember grouping used to help understand because the teacher would teach slowly. Yeah, stating the advantages of streaming in schools. Dr. Semalulu, how can those who want to get in touch with you find you?
Wow. I sit in Bukoto. I have an office in Bukoto.
Right.
Next to Kampala International School. Yeah, but I think most importantly is to maybe to come back here.
Come back. But do you have a social media platform?
Yes.
Yes.
I go by Sema Charles Cake on all social media platforms.
Cake is K-E-C-K.
Sema Charles
Cake on all social media platforms.
Yes,
Get in touch on all social media platforms, inbox him, DM him, so that you can engage with him better. But we'll have him a lot more as well here on UBC TV. Thank you, Dr. Charles. It has been such an important and eye-opening discussion, and looking forward to having you again.
Thanks for having me.
GMU Friday edition does continue, so stick around. Good morning, Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday, 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by...
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Juko. Yo. What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
The government's core mandate is to maintain law and order, safeguard citizens' rights, and provide essential public services.
Remember, one of the pillars of a roadmap is innovation and entrepreneurship.
There has been this question of how are you protecting our indigenous seed?
It's going to be a tall project that answers somebody's question.
For the past 20 weeks, the front bench has brought you insightful discussions on governance, security, healthcare, justice, and commerce.
Why do you go through this complicated procedure, involve the lawyers? You bring the case against him, the judge will hear you out and pass judgment, and you're out of court in record time.
We remain committed to keeping you informed and engaged on key national matters.
So these are huge, these are powerful organizations which now Uganda chairs. Why don't you come together?
If we haven't migrated to the e-card because of various reasons, including that not all the people of Uganda have smartphones.
You can sit in your house, apply for a passport.
If you have a Ugandan who has a successful logistics firm in the US, it means he can come to Uganda and do a lot more.
Now airing every Monday at 8:30 p.m. with me, Jethro Kasaiji, your interface with the government only on your public broadcaster, UBC, Inspiring Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business, it is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Maskari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, As new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
I'd love to take this opportunity to thank our President, Yoweri Kaguta Habura Museveni, by coming up with a Myoga program. We started in 2021 as Kasumi Parish Carpenters Myoga Circle. When we received this amount of 30 million, we had a problem, we had a challenge of machines. We used to carry our wood and we would carry it up to Waise to be worked on. So when we got this chance, we are able to buy machines to ease our work of carpentry. At the moment, we are a number composed of 140 members. We have the women who come in and do saloon chairs. We have the men doing 3-drawer tables, 2-drawer tables, and different kind of furniture. Before the Myoga program came in, we had a lot of crimes taking place on this road. When this Myoga program came up, we managed to collect these youths. We gave them hope that you can change from stealing, and we can give you skill so that you'll be someone in the society that will even help another person.
Kansoke ddala okwebaza omukulembeze w'eggwanga olw'emirimu emirungi gy'atutaddemu nga ffe abavubuka. Nze nno nze omu ku abo abaabeeranga ku kkubo okwo emisana n'ekiro, ng'oluusi olw'okuba naffe tunoonya ekyokulya nga gwa kiyina oba mmwe twakiyitanga b'amalala bagenda beerabisa nga tubagwamu munnange era nga tuba tulina obikuggyako naffe ne tubaawo. Naye munnange neebaza chairman wange wa wano yankwatako nno wamu ne bannange twatandika okukozesa mashini zino, tandika okuwawula, okulanda, okukola design, emmeeza zino tuzifulumya, entebe bwe ziti. Tulina emirimu gye tutandikirako emyangu okugeza ng'okufulumya obumotoka buno. Kano akamotoka n'omwana omuto w'emyaka 5 akafulumya. Bw'ova mu kufulumya akamotoka kano owawula, okukwata oluwawu n'owawula emmeeza ng'eno n'ebeera smooth. Oluvaawo nga bakutwala ku mashini eno oluvaawo lukolebwa oti bwe ntyo ndi wa mukisa byonna saabisasulira. Najja wano ne baŋŋamba President Museveni bino ebyuma yabituwa. Byammwe mulina okuba nga mubikozesa. Omukisa ne ngutwala. Era neebaza kuba kati ne bwe mba nvudde wano ne ŋŋenda ewalala. Ne bwe ŋŋenda Sudan nsobola okusigala nga ndi mulimu gwe gumu ogw'obubazi ne gumbeezaawo wamu ne famire yange. Ku savingi wange bimu ku byentereka bwe bampa akasente kange nfulumya emmeeza yange eno bino kiri wano si kya kiyamaani waffe nedda wano tulinawo itemu zaffe kati ku ssaawa eno zonjogera wano ninawo emmeeza ezange 5 n'entebe 12 ezitambulira ku mmeeza ezo nga zange era nga zo ne baba bazituuze wali sente baziwanze oluusi emirimu n'emirala ne gijja ne bagala twafunye omulimu guti mujje mufulumye entebe wano zino bwe ziti mugakukola sente bwe kityo emyoga gino kuba nagyegattako bingi byenfunye. Edda nze nalinga sisobola kusasula nnyumba gye mbeeramu era nja kunoonya gye ŋŋenda okusula mu mifulejje era eyo mifulejje gye ŋŋenda okusanga ote oli ajja atamidde nga ye ate alina n'essimu gy'amulisa. Kale ebintu ng'ebyo nze kati nnawe nsula era ssaawa weziwera nti zino ssaawa zakwebaka olwo nga nsimbula nga ŋŋenda neebaka nawasa tadde n'abaana nno munnange sebo kulembeze weebale bageto yuti mwenna gye muli wabweru eyo temutya temwerumaluma nkata temudda mu biki temulobera mu projekiti za gavumenti kuba zino projekiti ziriwo kutuyamba ffe zaffe zirina kutuyimusa kuteeka ku ddaala ddala bwe lwonazoberamu abalala bazeegaseemu ffe nga tukola ki bwebibaawo ebityo
Because of this Emyoga program, we have been able to pick such different youth, mentor them, we train them. After learning, they also go up even start other their businesses. We have people buying from us, schools, we have factories, companies. They come and give us very juicy contracts. And out of that, that's how we've managed to accumulate this amount of saving of 70 million. So I would love to thank the President of Uganda that because of the Emyoga program, we've done what they call mindset change. Those who used to think of going for prostitution, we've captured them and changed their mind. They are here trying to do work, trying to get skills. Those used to steal, they are also here trying to get skills. We have been job seekers, but now we are no longer job seekers. We are job creators.
This Pereno, as the name prescribes, is a project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture. And by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and even it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there was also community-based natural resources grants, which were given to families to put in place woodlots, which would help them to reduce on killing the vegetation and deforestation, looking for energy or for firewood.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Big David Logic to the world. Oyinza okulowooza nti ndi mulalu olw'okuba njagala ondageko ku busungu bwo. Kwata omuntu watandagangako busungu bwe yadde okunzibira feesi. Oli mwana wa ddembe otambuza simbo ate oli mumbejja sirabagambako akaloboozi ko matunzi lumooli nzita oletta n'abane n'amaddu lumooli nkubya ondettera omutofunda newengezaako byayanga buli lwendaba kukwatako ekisonkwata onnafuyize lomaze yandiba eddalu nze newonsibula ndabanga gwoyita teriba eddalu nze temudduukirira anti anyumirwa yandiba eddalu newonsibula ndabanga gwoyita lino eddalu no nagwa ddalu siganye gyoyita obalekanya nga nange gyempita nkutangaaza omukwano gwe nnina gy'oli gwesunda kutsennabye muli oli bwebyama oyongedde ogonze n'obulamu ku nsi kutsennabyo nnyongedde ondeddedde ofuna emirembe oli mwana wa ddembe otambuza simbo ate oli mumbejja sirabagambako akaloboozi ko matunzi lumooli nzita oletta n'abane n'amaddu lumooli nkubya yandiba eddalu newonsibula ndabanga gwoyita teriba eddalu eddalu nze temudduukirira antanyumira yandiba eddalu eddalu newonsiibula ndabanga gw'oyita lino eddalu nze eddalu.
Now, I love the paradox in the lyrical content that Neboba Osibula Nzendabanga Aita. Very interesting. You are watching GMU the Friday edition, and in studio with us is Lati Wizi, whom you've seen sample us a song that has been playing, his song titled Edalu. He is an R&B artist, and he's here to bless our morning on GMU. Good morning, Uganda, the Friday edition. Now, to interact with him, ask questions, or be a part of the show for him, 0709 602 592. Good morning, Lati Wizi.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you?
I'm very good.
Thank you for coming to Good Morning, Uganda.
Always, this is home.
I know, right? Now, let me start with your lyrical content, because it's something that has got me in your song.
Yeah.
What inspires you as you're writing? Do you write your own music first and foremost?
Yeah, actually write my own music.
Right.
Yeah, but I work with a team of 3 people. One is called Tazi, and one is called Big Devi. That's my producer.
Right.
Yeah.
Now let's go back to the genesis of your story. Who is Lati Wizi?
Lati Wizi is an R&B artist from Jinja. Of course, doing R&B.
Right.
Specifically doing love songs.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love writing about love. So because love is all the way.
Are you in love?
No, like everybody's in love.
Yeah, you can just elaborate what you're in love with. There are many things you're in love with.
There are many things that I'm in love with. I'm in love with myself. I'm in love with beautiful things. So yeah, but I'm not actually in love like this actual love, like boyfriend and girlfriend.
You're the people who sing about love in all its expressions and experience, and yet not experience it.
Yeah, creators.
Yes.
That's why, man, we have to applaud creators, because there's what we call imaginative composition.
Right.
You can actually imagine something, write about it. It's like these guys who wrote about maybe Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Titanic wasn't even there, but somebody wrote about it, and we felt like it was real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's us.
Well, anyway, the ship actually sank in 1912, and with the love story, perhaps so. But tell us, when do you start music?
Commercially, I'm like 2 years commercially. Right. Yeah, but I've been doing music for since school. Yeah.
So you were singing in school, miming,
No, I wasn't singing in school.
Right.
But I'm one artist who actually just started singing, not in school, but I went out to look for studios and start singing, but not in school, because I didn't sing in choirs. I didn't sing anywhere.
How so? How come?
Yeah, it just came to me. It just came to me. Woke up in the morning, I felt like I could sing.
But in school, you never had the idea of it there.
I was even once I was even chased away from a choir, because in a school choir.
Because you couldn't sing.
No, not because I couldn't sing.
But
I never had the passion. So nali musumbui.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So let's look at the genre that you do, especially love songs.
Yeah.
Do you have some form of emotions as you're penning down these songs?
Yeah, of course.
What's going through your whole entire being as you're writing these lyrics?
Yeah, when we were doing the song, me, Big Devi, and Tazi, we actually we were there. Have you ever been in a situation whereby you're in love and you feel like you're stupid? So a lot of people fall in love, and we look at them and say how come he or she's doing this thing? We find ourselves like you do something crazy, and then the people looking at you say
questioning your actions.
Questioning, yeah, of course. Yeah. So I put myself in such a feeling and said, man, I've seen a lot of things that have been done by people because they're in love, and maybe let me pen this down. It will maybe catch up the minds of people, and maybe lots of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a song out of all the music that you have? Is there one that is so personal to you?
Yeah.
Which one?
It's called Hello. Yeah, I love that song so much.
Why is it personal?
Because I sang about a friend.
Right.
Yeah, I sang about a friend. So it's called Hello. I love that song so much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, Latiwizi 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number for you to engage. But in the meantime, as you send your interaction in, he's going to bless us with his talent starting right now.
All I do is sit around and think of your love. Yeah, the way you let me take control of me, this must be love. All focusing on your body. Buli lwenkulaba nfunamu ebinkuba machikiwa tumanji. I can't believe I'm touching your body. I'm lucky. Call your friends over gambe tulumba wakamutanwari. Done waiting. Kuba biola bisebi nyuma, you're the life of the party. You're something, babe. You're something now, you're something now. Good today, good today. Eno gubula kubimba, eno good today. Yeah, good today, good today. Eno gubula kubimba, eno good today. So, this is my promise to you. Ndikukumo kusinga bakungu. Obumwabo so sweet like kuku. Ntalujjukira the day I met you. Yegwa talina watama, oyita mukubo bekomba. Nina byentegese byetama, mutima gwazira. Touching your body, I'm lucky. Call your friends over gambe tulumba wakamutanwabi. Done waiting. Kuba byola bisebi nyuma, you're the life of the party. You're something, babe. You're something now, you're something now. Good today, good today. Eno gubula kubimba, eno good today. Good today, good today. Eno gubula kubimba, eno good today. Sit around and think of your love. The way you let me take control of me, this must be love. All focusing on your body. Showtime, Mugambe. That's easy. Mugambe what? Baby tula, tula tula la, tula oh. Baby tula, tula nkubulire, tula oh. Katinze nkugoberera omuzolera tulala, tula oh. Katinze nkugoberera omuzolera tulala, tula oh. Show, baby wanseketa, wankolera, joy I love you. Yegwa kulembera nendaba mazima, joy akafubako. Buli wobulambira sefuna njagala otuule ku mmeeza. Kuyite nga dali, nawo mpite baby. Cause my love for you, my baby boo, yafuuka disease. I got some words byenjagala nkugambe bambitondekaawo. Kati tuulaawo, tuula tulala, tuulaawo. Baby tuula, tuula nkubulire, tuulaawo. Kati nze nkugoberera omuzolera tulala, tuulaawo. Kati nze nkugoberera omuzolera tulala, tuulaawo. Uliriza Mugambe boti. Olina endoboozi eddungi nga sawuni ya gita. Olususu buli lwenkulaba olinga n'abisa amata. Tekanjogera ompulira, temmanyi onkolera, awo w'otudde ompulira. temanyi okolera buli omu akuwondera maama kukundira kanfuuke kirimanyi yekwalina pulani omutubu yekwe mwalaali baby tula tulawo baby tula ngubulire tulawo kati nze nkugoberera omuzolera tulawo kati nze nkugoberera omuzolera tulawo baby wantegeta wankolera njoya love yo yekwakulembera nendaba mazima njoya kafubako kanjogera ompulira temanyi okolera awo wotudde ompulira nze temanyi okolera.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Time to catch up with what you must look forward to for your weekend, and that is movies. Movie recommendations for you to catch up with as you spend your leisure time. It's a Friday, so why not engage? And in case you plan to be indoors, just binge on some movies. Starting off with the Ocean Gate Disaster. It's a 2025 American documentary film directed and produced by Mark Monroe, and it chronicles the events surrounding expedition to the Titanic wreck site operated by Ocean Gate Expeditions. Now, the film presents a detailed account of the lead up to the incident and the international search and rescue operation, and the broader implications of deep-sea tourism and safety regulations. Drawing on interviews, archival footage, and the expert commentary, the documentary investigates both the human stories and systemic failures involved in the tragedy. Now, if you love your documentary, this is one that I should recommend, but let's have a look at the trailer.
There was no way of knowing when title was going to fail, but it was a mathematical certainty that it would fail. Stockton saw an opportunity to restart tourist visits to Titanic.
Stockton fully believed in what he was doing and that it would work.
He wanted fame. To fuel his ego, fame.
I have no desire to die. I understand this kind of risk.
I thought Stockton was a borderline psychopath. How do you manage a person like that who owns the company?
This is one of the safest things I will ever do.
Nobody spoke up. He would ruin somebody's life.
Stockton said Bonnie is going to be our next lead pilot. Are you nuts? I'm an accountant.
No one's dying under my watch. Period.
Now, this is a story of true events that took place on 18th January, or July, pardon me if I'm switching up the months, but it was in the year 2023. And the documentary of that very true story is what you get to watch. In case you are interested in your documentaries, get yourself the Ocean Gate Disaster, that documentary. Now, moving on is Echo Valley. It's a 2025 American thriller film directed by Michael Pierce and written by Brad Inglesby, and it's starring Julianne Moore and Sydney Sweeney, Domhnall and Gleason, as well as Kyle MacLachlan, as well as Fiona Shaw. Now, it follows a mother of two who is living a quiet life on a Pennsylvania farm, must aid her daughter in there who has come to her in an alarming state. The film received a limited release in the United States and Canada on June 6th this year, and is believed to be receiving a lot more as of June 13th, 2025. But let's first have a look at the trailer.
Don't leave your bedroom till I come back. I need help. Okay, let's get this off. Are you bleeding? Okay, calm down. Breathe. You need to be completely honest with me. What happened?
I was with my boyfriend when we started arguing.
Is he okay? But it was an accident.
No.
It was he.
I hit him with a rock.
Did anyone see you?
No.
Okay, go upstairs. And don't leave your bedroom till I come back.
Hello? We need to talk.
About what?
You must be Claire's mom.
Hey, Claire, why would you say that about a close friend?
I'm guessing you haven't heard from Claire.
She showed up here last week.
What did she want?
What does she always want? Money.
She's our daughter.
Our daughter is an addict. She'll show up, put on that smile, and you'll give her anything she wants. I know what you did. I make one call, and all roads lead back to you.
How are you holding up? I can't really talk about it.
I'm freaking out right now because I read the bodies float.
What are you doing out here?
Claire, what's going on? What did you do?
Mom, I'm in trouble!
You have a lot, and I want it.
I won't let anything happen to you.
What'd you do?
I took care of it.
Announced in March, and filming started in April 2023, and officially released. The film was officially released on June 13th, 2025. One that you can look forward to. But the third recommendation would be Disney's Snow White, or simply Snow White. It's a 2025 American musical fantasy film, and it's one that has a bit of live action in there, reimagining the Walt Disney's 1937 animated film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, itself based on the 1812 fairy tale Snow White by the Brothers Grimm, produced by Walt Disney, as in, obviously, and the plot there is a benevolent queen gives birth during a snowstorm, and to honor the day, she and her husband named their daughter Snow White. Years later, after the queen dies over a sudden illness, the king hastily remarries before embarking on a military campaign, and when he disappears, the new queen usurps the throne, revealing herself as an enchantress whose vanity surpasses her beauty. But let's have a look at the trailer.
This was my father's kingdom, a place of fairness, but the queen changed everything.
Take him away!
Your Majesty,
What did you say?
the people need some kindness.
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated. Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all?
Famed is thy beauty, Majesty. But the lovely maiden I now behold.
I look at you, and I just want to be the fairest of them all.
The queen is evil. You must flee into the woods.
My parents always said this forest was a magical place. Hello? Is there anybody here?
It's a human.
What did you think I was?
Nothing. Ghost.
You'll be safe from the queen here.
The queen stole everything from all of us.
We're gonna need your help.
It's time to restore our kingdom.
Waiting on a wish, holding out for someday, hoping somehow, some way, there comes a miracle.
Find Snow White.
I close my eyes, I see the girl I meant to
This is our kingdom, and now we're here to take it back.
You were saying.
I'm sorry, my dear. Did I frighten you?
Now, it's interesting to watch Gal Gadot be the villain in a movie. We're so used to her being Wonder Woman and the one who is the winner of it all. But this time around in Snow White, she is the villain. It's another recommendation that you have to look forward to. Now, for the movie recommendations, that's what we have. But we also have concert recommendations, ones that you'll have to look forward to, especially if you love your gospel music. Best Emily, she has a song that is a really beautiful one that I really love. It's called My God is Bigger. But Best Emily is a musician from Western Uganda, a female artist and regarded among the biggest stars in the region of Western region. She is from Tungamo, and she graduated with a bachelor's in IT, but now serving the Lord with her talent in music. Started singing as a young girl all the way from 2014 and got to record her first song after winning a school composition and singing competition. She got married to a renowned music producer, Bruno, of Alpha Music in 2021, and has been nominated and won many gospel awards, both in Uganda and abroad. She held a big and successful concert in Barara at Ajip Motel on Easter, the year 2022. And now she's planning to come to Kampala on the 13th of July 2025, where she'll hold a concert at the Kampala Serena Hotel. Best Emily live in concert, Serena Hotel, Kampala. And regular ticket goes for 50,000 Uganda shillings, VIP 100,000 Uganda shillings, and a table platinum 2 million Uganda shillings. So for reservations and inquiries, do call the number 0775 281494 or 07626352123. Gets open at 4 p.m. For all the gospel and inspirational music lovers, this is your plot for 13th July 2025. And that's it for any form of plot recommendations. Make sure you catch up with the movies that you like, as well as look forward to Best Emily's Music concert on the 13th of July. For now, Good Morning Uganda does continue, and we do still have Lati Wizi in studio. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, my name is Ruben, and on a sad note, yesterday I was actually having a meeting of Chan when Edmond came and told me that Jota has actually passed on. I first couldn't believe him. I told him that I don't want to believe that Diogo Jota is gone until when he showed me the Sky Sports poster that was actually breaking news. Telling the world that Diogo Jota and his brother Andre had actually gotten an accident and they have been discovered dead. That is in their Lamborghini. So until that time, I tried to look through the news, and it was really true that Diogo Jota did actually get an accident and couldn't fight for his life. The death of Liverpool and Portugal forward Diogo Jota in the car crash that actually was age 28 left a lot in shock. And Jota and his brother Andre Silva both died after the Lamborghini they were traveling in crashed in the Spanish province of Zamora. Of course, the 38-year-old Jota was on his way back to Liverpool for pre-season training, making the trip by car and ferry because he had undergone minor surgery, so doctors advised him against flying. Jota married his long-term partner, that is Ruth Cardoso, with with whom he had 3 children just 11 days before the fatal accident. Liverpool said Jota's death is a tragedy that transcends the club, while fans gathered outside Anfield to lay tributes. Reds manager Arne Slot and said Jota was the essence of what a Liverpool player should be. And of course, GME understands a wake for Jota and his brother will take place on that is today afternoon before their funeral on Saturday in Porto, that is Portugal. I saw so many coming up with statements about consoling the family, and I know that you see accidents happen and you cannot predict what can happen next. But of course, Diogo Jota and his brother Andre did leave us, but that was yesterday. And of course, I feel for the father and the mother of those 2 boys, those 2 sons. As a parent, you can never understand why your child lives before you, because nature predicts that parents are supposed to live and leave their children for the purpose of legacy. But Jota and his brother Andre are traveling in the same car, did crash their Lamborghini, and nobody survived because it caught fire. The same way that when it happened to Rajiv on the express highway. So those fast cars can easily kill you, brother, I'm telling you. And I feel for the father of those 2 boys, of those 2 sons, and the mother, and also feel for the young wife. I mean, having 28 years, they have a young family. Now, life will never be the same again when you lose your father. And I feel for the children who are Jota's children. You can never be the same person when you lose. Even at an adult age, when you lose parents, you cannot be the same person. What about a young child? How about somebody who's under 10 years? How can they survive minus daddy in the house? But anyway, life is you can never predict life, and you can never know when you're leaving. So each day you live, you've got to celebrate it and thank God for that day. And for those who have the chance to thank God, please do, because you can never predict who is going to go next. I might be the next person or any other person. So that's it. But of course, to continue with Jota, they returned to Liverpool by boat. This is understood to mean he was traveling by car from Porto to take a ferry from Santander in northern Spain. There are ferry routes from Santander to Plymouth and Portsmouth in the south of England. Zamora cross to the Portuguese border is about 190 miles from Porto and similar distance from the port. It is understood Jota had also traveled by road and sea to get to Porto for his wedding. Liverpool led the tributes to Jota, saying the club was devastated by such an unimaginable loss. He scored 65 goals in 185 appearances for Liverpool, helping them win the FA Cup, League Cup in 2022 and the Premier League title last season. The club put out further statements later on yesterday, with boss Slot paying tribute to a player who had become a loved one to all at the club. The Dutchman added, someone who made others feel good about themselves just by being with them, a person who cared deeply for his family. And Slot says also that in many ways, it was a dream summer for Diogo and his family, which makes it all the more heartbreaking that it should end like this. As Lord said, Liverpool and their supporters are all with the Jota's family, and the same can be said of the wider family of football. Reds captain Virgil van Dijk said it was a privilege to have played alongside Jota and been his friend off the pitch. We will miss you beyond words and never forget you, added the Dutchman. Your legacy will live on. We will make sure of it. Left back Andy Robertson said, and I quote, Jota was the most British foreign player. Okay, now this is something he had met. That's from Robertson. And then, of course, an Instagram post, the Scotland International added, the last time I saw him was the happiest day of his life. His wedding day. I want to remember his never ceasing smile from that magical day. How much he was bursting with love for his wife and family. That's heartbreaking as well when a family, when you talk about the family and of course the children. Anyway, I don't have to dwell so much onto Diogo Jota and his brother Andre, but all I can say is life is unpredictable. Whatever you have to do, please go ahead and do it. And of course, the players who have died through accidents, I can mention a few of them, if you allow me, if time allows me. There's one is actually Federico Pisani, Atlanta. Of course, he did also. Those are the players on your screen who have passed away through accidents. Federico Pisani, Ray Jones from Queen's Park Rangers, Junior Malanda from Wolfsburg, Antonio Reyes, that was from Extra Madura. Then you had Emiliano Sala from FC Nantes, and of course lastly it was Diogo Jota from Liverpool. I'll turn here with Michael Sefman at 1:30, and we shall talk more about that, and of course as other sports activities that will be taking place over the weekend. But for now, allow me I'll create room for Julie and the artist to take you through up to the hour of 9. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Juko. Yo. Wachikuwa. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Welcome back from GMU Sports. It's the weekend. That's why we have everything light, including music. And in studio, like I said, we still have Latiwizi, who's blessing us with his talent. He is an R&B artist and specifically sings about love. Do engage 0709602592. Latiwizi, I will ask you a question. For your genre, do you believe that love music heals broken hearts?
Yeah, I definitely believe.
How so? What do you think about when you think about healing hearts through love music?
I'll take it back to the genesis. I believe like love is what all healed us. So why not heal us again with the music and stuff?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a moment you've had to sing a song specifically for a human being, either on their wedding day or their proposal, engagement? event, or just to sing for them because they're going through a tough situation in life?
Yeah, like my song, I actually sang it for somebody.
Alright.
Like somebody had a girlfriend, and then he wanted to propose to them. So I wrote this song just for him to propose to the girlfriend.
Interesting. The way different people express themselves when it comes to love. Let's talk about your inspirations.
Yeah.
Who are your biggest musical inspirations?
One is called Maro. Another one is called Karana Ntongo.
The R&B Chabazinga.
Yeah.
Maro.
And another one is, of course, radio. Like, he has inspired the generation.
Oh, yes. Yes. I could hear a bit of radio in your voice.
Thank you.
Interesting. Now, Latiwizi is here to bless us, and without wasting more of your time, but before even we allow him to sing, he has a new song that's coming out soon, and it's something that he has to tell us about. Tell us about this new project.
The new project is called Will You? Like, okay, you can maybe add on like, Will You Marry Me or something, but the title is Will You. So this project was produced by Big Devi producer, of course sung by me, and then lyrical Tazi like helped me. We were writing this song together, and yeah, with my management as well, Media. So that's all about this song.
So I will allow us enjoy this song by you premiering it officially.
Thank you. So this song is called Will You? Please listen to this song.
Big technology to the world. You can see your value, my baby, and I'm gonna get you somewhere. Bamugamba lina gwe yalesobo byokufejjo tefuna. Yeah, ndikukalenda nswama olunaku lwe wagamba okutta mukakoma w'ebirungi byampa kozi n'omukwano kuketta. Oli babutinga tula babiri webuzi betiro tukuma babiri tekolaba amalavu gammiza pini kuli babutinga tuli babiri webuzi betiro tukuma babiri tekolaba amalavu gammiza pini oba kitegeera. I can never date anybody but you. When I choose a beans, I'm a very brand new. You bandi bako muzimu togo. Na wampane betu ngole kutewe. Wow, okubisa bulungi mundeno. Okwekula omutima mundawo. Tonyige tigere totako, owe wawo. Opulisa bulungi mundeno. Okwekula omutima mundawo. Tonyige tigere totako. Oli babutinga tula babiri webuzi betiro tukuma babiri tekolaba amalavu gammiza pini oba kite. Oli babutinga tuli babiri webuzi betiro tukuma babiri tekolaba amalavu gammiza pini oba kitegeera. Come my baby and amulabakeyo somewhere. Bamugamba lina gwe yalesobo byokufejjo teyefuna. I can never date anybody but you. Gwe wakyusa bingi I'm a very brand new. You bandi bako muzimu togo. Na wampa ne betu nkole kutejo. Olunaku lwe wagamba okutta mukakoma w'ebirungi byampanze pozi n'omukwano kuketta. Oli babutinga tula babiri tukuma babiri. This is my new song. Listen, bisolo kutalo biwuliza kwokumbula kotirwaza nalusa timalamu amanya kamira ne kabula ne mami kansasira tomwana lave susayinza okuba kanya kwewungula budanga ndipira nonya anzemu ekibuuzo nza kirina mbuuza will you onowandirira ekyaffe tetulina ngamba will you oba obono njagala okukira nzaala ngamba will you onoolwanirira ekyaffe tetulina ngamba will you yeah. Obono njagala wira paseno nti wendiba omukadde ndikwekwatako sala oluguudo nga bye twakkanyako byerabidde ng'era omuntu nze sirina kye nasigaza ninga bulaba n'omutima gwe nali nnina wagutima na bino byontunuuliza mba nninda oyogera obonga ekibukakkanya ansa will you olwanirira ekyaffe kyetulina ngamba will you obono njagala okukira nzaala ngamba will you ekyaffe kyetulina ngamba will you obono njagala okutira nzaala ngamba
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Uniquely ours. Explore Uganda.
You got us on your wallet. Bobby, again! What's this drama?
Drama? Colleagues, elections for special interest groups are calling. SIGs, elections, youth, PWDs, elderly. It's time to vote for our leaders, June through August. From village to parish to district to nationals, youth, PWDs, elderly. It's time, go vote your leaders. No! Elections are supposed to be peaceful. Easy vote, okay?
Youth, elderly, and persons with disabilities. It's time to choose our leaders. Let's show up and participate in the special interest group elections. Starting June through August this year. Your vote, your voice. My vote, my voice. This message is brought to you by the Uganda Electoral Commission.
At UNOC, we believe in safety.
It's a FlexiPay cashback explosion. Shop and pay with your FlexiPay. Cashback, instant. It's a FlexiPay cashback explosion.
It's a FlexiPay cashback explosion. Simply shop and pay with your FlexiPay at activating outlets and enjoy instant cashbacks. Terms and conditions apply. Stanbic Bank is regulated by the Bank of Uganda, and customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund up to 10 million Uganda shillings.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
In the neighborhood, near stagnant water and mosquito breeding sites, malaria lurks, always waiting to strike. But fear not, for here comes Mr. Vaxxer, the ultimate protector against malaria. For years, malaria has been one of the biggest threats to children under 5, making them weak and even putting their lives at risk. But now, the